Your Lexus rides like a cloud when it's new. Smooth, quiet, controlled, every bump absorbed perfectly. But somewhere around 80,000 miles, something changes. The ride gets harsher. You hear clunks over bumps. The handling feels loose and vague. Most owners think this is normal aging. They accept it as inevitable. Some even trade in their cars because they just don't drive the same anymore. But here's what nobody tells you. Suspension degradation is almost entirely preventable. I've worked on Lexus vehicles with over 250,000 miles that still ride like new. Original shocks, original control arms, original bushings, still smooth, still quiet, still tight. The difference? These owners knew the secrets that keep suspension components healthy for the life of the vehicle. Today, I'm sharing the complete strategy for lifetime suspension preservation. We're not talking about replacing worn parts. We're talking about preventing wear in the first place. These aren't complicated procedures or expensive modifications. These are simple maintenance habits that protect every component in your suspension system. Keep watching, because what I'm about to share will keep your Lexus riding like new for hundreds of thousands of miles while saving you thousands in suspension repairs. Let's preserve that cloud-like ride forever. Secret 1. Tire pressure, the foundation of suspension longevity. This sounds too simple to matter, but improper tire pressure destroys suspension components faster than anything else. When tires are underinflated, your suspension works harder to absorb impacts. Shocks cycle more frequently. Control arm bushings flex beyond their design limits. Wheel bearings carry uneven loads. When tires are overinflated, harsh impacts transfer directly to suspension components instead of being absorbed by the tire sidewalls. This causes premature wear on shock absorbers and strut mounts. Here's your strategy. Check tire pressure monthly, not quarterly or annually. Temperature changes affect pressure significantly. Use the pressure specified on your door jamb sticker, not the maximum pressure printed on the tire sidewall. Check pressure when tires are cold before driving. Warm tires read 3 to 4 psi higher than actual cold pressure. For most Lexus models, proper pressure is 32 to 35 psi front and rear. Some performance models require different pressures. Always verify. I've seen suspension systems last 200,000 plus miles with nothing but proper tire pressure maintenance. I've also seen complete suspension rebuilds at 60,000 miles because owners never checked pressure. This single habit prevents thousands in premature suspension wear. Secret 2. Tire rotation. Every 5,000 miles. Uneven tire wear creates uneven suspension loading, which accelerates component wear dramatically. When your front tires wear faster than rears, which happens on all front-wheel drive and AWD vehicles, your suspension works asymmetrically. Front shocks compress more. Front wheel bearings carry different loads. Control arm bushings flex unevenly. Over time, this asymmetry causes premature failure of suspension components. The solution is simple. Rotate tires every 5,000 miles, coinciding with oil changes. This ensures even tire wear, which maintains balanced suspension loading throughout the tire's life. For most Lexus models, use a cross-rotation pattern, front left to rear right, front right to rear left. Rear-wheel drive models may require different patterns. Check your manual. Also inspect tire wear patterns during rotation. Uneven wear indicates alignment problems that need immediate attention. Even tire wear equals even suspension loading equals maximum component longevity. Secret 3. Wheel alignment, the most overlooked service. Misalignment doesn't just wear tires, it destroys suspension bushings, ball joints, and tie rod ends. When your wheels aren't properly aligned, suspension components operate at angles they weren't designed for. Bushings twist constantly. Ball joints carry side loads. Tie rods flex under stress. This accelerated wear happens invisibly until components fail catastrophically. Signs you need alignment. Steering wheel off-center when driving straight. Vehicle pulling to one side. Uneven tire wear patterns, especially feathering or scalloping. Steering wheel vibration at highway speeds. Get alignment checked annually or after hitting major potholes or curbs. Proper alignment costs $100 to $150. Replacing worn suspension components costs $1,500 to $3,000. Keeping alignment perfect prevents 90% of premature suspension wear. Secret 4. The suspension inspection. Nobody does. Most owners never look at their suspension components until something breaks. This is backwards. Proactive inspection catches wear before it causes damage. Every 30,000 miles, perform a thorough suspension inspection. Raise the vehicle safely and support on jack stands. Never rely on jacks alone. Inspect all rubber bushings for cracks, tears, or deterioration. Control arm bushings, sway bar links, and engine mounts all degrade over time. Check ball joints for play. Grab the tire at 12 and 6 o'clock and try to rock it. Excessive movement indicates worn ball joints. Inspect shock absorbers for oil leaks. Any visible fluid means the shock has failed and needs replacement. Examine tie rod ends and steering linkage for wear or loose components. Check CV axle boots for tears. Split boots allow contamination that destroys CV joints. Look for rust or damage to suspension arms, especially in salt belt states. Catching worn bushings early costs $200 to $400. Replacing damaged control arms from bushing failure costs $1,200 plus. Proactive inspection is the cheapest insurance for suspension longevity. Secret 5. Shock absorber maintenance nobody knows about. Shock absorbers are wear items that degrade so gradually most owners never notice. But degraded shocks cause a cascade of suspension damage throughout your Lexus. When shocks wear out, your vehicle bounces more over bumps. This excessive movement stresses control arm bushings, sway bar links, and steering components. These parts wear out prematurely, trying to compensate for weak shocks. Test your shocks with the bounce test. Push down hard on each corner of your Lexus and release. The vehicle should rise smoothly and settle without bouncing. If it bounces more than once, the shocks are worn. Most Lexus shocks need replacement around 80,000 to 100,000 miles. Some drivers notice the degradation, others don't, but the wear is happening regardless. Replace shocks in pairs, both fronts or both rears. Never replace just one shock. It creates unbalanced suspension response. Use quality shocks like KYB or Bilstein. These are often OEM suppliers that provide excellent ride quality and longevity. Fresh shocks not only improve ride quality, they protect every other suspension component from accelerated wear. Secret 6. Control arm, bushing protection. Control arm bushings are rubber components that isolate suspension movement from the chassis. When these bushings degrade, your Lexus develops clunks, vibrations, and wandering steering. But more importantly, worn bushings allow excessive suspension movement that damages other components. Here's what kills bushings prematurely: aggressive driving with hard acceleration and braking, hitting potholes and curbs at speed, driving on rough roads consistently, salt exposure in winter climates. Protect your bushings by avoiding potholes and road hazards when possible, slowing down for speed bumps and rough roads, washing the undercarriage regularly to remove salt and debris, applying rubber bushing preservative annually. Yes, rubber bushing preservative exists. Products like Worth Rubber Care or 303 Protectant prevent UV damage and drying that causes cracking. Apply preservative to all visible rubber bushings annually. This extends bushing life from 100,000 miles to 200,000 plus miles. Original bushings for the life of the vehicle should be your goal. Secret 7. Sway bar. Link maintenance. Sway bar links are small components that connect the sway bar to the suspension. They're often neglected until they fail with loud clunking noises. But worn sway bar links affect more than just noise. They reduce stability in corners and increase body roll, which stresses other suspension components. Inspect sway bar links every 50,000 miles. Look for torn or cracked rubber bushings, loose or rattling ball joints, bent or damaged links. Replace sway bar links in pairs when worn. They're inexpensive, usually $40 to $80 per pair. Quality aftermarket links from Moog or TRW provide excellent durability at reasonable cost. Keeping sway bar links healthy maintains proper body control and prevents cascading wear to other components. Secret 8. Wheel bearing longevity secrets. Wheel bearings are precision components that support your vehicle's weight while allowing wheels to spin freely. When bearings fail, they cause vibration, noise, and can even lead to wheel separation in extreme cases. Here's how to make wheel bearings last forever. Keep proper tire pressure. Underinflated tires load bearings unevenly, accelerating wear. Avoid water immersion when possible. Deep puddles and car washes force water into bearing seals, causing premature failure. Don't drive on flat tires. Even short distances on flat tires destroy wheel bearings permanently. Listen for bearing noise. A humming or grinding sound that changes with vehicle speed indicates bearing wear. Replace bearings at the first sign of noise. Delaying replacement can damage hubs and spindles, turning a $300 bearing replacement into a $1,200 repair. Most Lexus wheel bearings last 150,000 to 200,000 miles with proper care. Some reach 300,000 plus miles. Secret 9. Steering system protection. Your Lexus steering system connects directly to the suspension and requires specific maintenance for longevity. For hydraulic power steering systems, mostly older models, check fluid level monthly. Low fluid causes pump damage and steering component wear. Replace power steering fluid every 60,000 miles. Old fluid becomes contaminated with metal particles that accelerate wear. Inspect hoses for leaks or bulging. Leaking fluid starves the system and causes expensive damage. For electric power steering, newer models, listen for unusual noises when turning. Any grinding or clicking requires immediate attention. Ensure your battery stays healthy. Weak batteries stress electric power steering motors. Check for software updates. Some steering issues are resolved with ECU updates. Also, never turn the steering wheel while the vehicle is stationary. This practice, called dry steering, causes excessive wear on tie rods, ball joints, and steering rack components. Secret 10. Undercarriage washing, the secret weapon. This is the maintenance item that separates 150,000-mile suspensions from 300,000-mile suspensions. Road salt, dirt, and debris accumulate on suspension components, causing corrosion and accelerated wear. This is especially critical in winter climates where salt is used on roads. Wash your Lexus's undercarriage monthly during winter and quarterly year-round. Use a pressure washer with undercarriage attachment, or visit a car wash with undercarriage spray. Focus on suspension components, steering linkage, and brake assemblies. Spray behind wheels where salt accumulates heavily. Allow components to dry, then apply corrosion inhibitor to exposed metal surfaces. Products like fluid film or wool wax provide excellent corrosion protection without harming rubber components. I've seen suspension systems in salt belt states last 200,000 plus miles with religious undercarriage washing. Without washing, components often fail by 80,000 miles. This simple habit doubles or triples suspension component lifespan. Secret 11. Load management. Your Lexus suspension is engineered for specific weight limits. Exceeding these limits accelerates wear dramatically. Check your vehicle's payload capacity in the owner's manual. Never exceed it, even temporarily. Also consider, remove unnecessary weight from your vehicle. Every 100 pounds of excess weight stresses suspension components. Distribute loads evenly. Don't pile everything on one side or in the rear. When towing, use proper equipment and stay within towing capacity. Overloading destroys suspension systems quickly. Avoid speed bumps and rough roads when heavily loaded. The combination of weight and impact multiplies suspension stress. Proper load management extends shock life, prevents bushing wear, and maintains suspension geometry. Secret 12. Driving habits that preserve suspension. How you drive matters as much as maintenance. Aggressive driving habits destroy suspension components. Hitting potholes at speed damages shocks, struts, and control arms. Hard cornering stresses sway bar links and control arm bushings. Speed bumps taken too fast can bend control arms or damage shock mounts. Curb impacts destroy tie rods, ball joints, and wheel bearings. Protective driving habits include: slow down for road imperfections. 5 seconds of patience prevents thousands in repairs. Brake before speed bumps, not while crossing them. Avoid potholes when safely possible. Take corners smoothly without aggressive steering inputs. Approach driveways and parking lot entrances at angles to reduce scraping. These habits might add a few minutes to your commute, but they'll add years to your suspension's life. Secret 13. The temperature factor. Temperature extremes affect suspension components more than most owners realize. Cold weather makes rubber bushings brittle and less flexible. They're more susceptible to cracking and tearing. Hot weather softens bushings and accelerates degradation. Protect against temperature extremes. In winter, warm up your Lexus before driving aggressively. Let lubricants reach operating temperature and bushings become more flexible. In summer, park in shade when possible to reduce heat exposure to rubber components. Apply rubber preservative before winter to protect against cold weather cracking. Store your Lexus in a garage if possible. Temperature-controlled storage dramatically extends suspension component life. The forever suspension mindset. Making your Lexus suspension last forever isn't about replacing parts before they wear out. It's about creating conditions where parts never wear out in the first place. Every pothole avoided protects your shocks and control arms. Every undercarriage wash prevents corrosion that would have destroyed components. Every alignment check maintains geometry that keeps bushings healthy. Every tire rotation distributes wear that preserves wheel bearings. These habits compound over time. At 50,000 miles, the difference is minimal. At 150,000 miles, it's significant. At 250,000 miles, it's the difference between original suspension and complete replacement. Your Lexus is engineered for luxury and durability. The suspension components are designed to last hundreds of thousands of miles under proper conditions. Create those conditions, and your Lexus will ride like new indefinitely. The cloud-like ride you fell in love with. It doesn't have to fade. Follow these strategies and your suspension will outlast your ownership. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.